It's a late one, I know. And I really don't expect that many people to be in on this one. But I'm trying some new things out. Peace to the Haps people out here. Hopefully y'all gonna get rid of them fucking pink hearts, because I can't stand that shit. I think you need to give somebody an option whether they want to have pink hearts floating through their stream. I'm not sure whose idea that was, but it wasn't a good one. So let me just speak my piece on that. I don't want pink hearts floating all around my screen. That ain't me. Not that I don't mind the color pink. I just don't need pink hearts floating all through my stream. What up, freak? So I'm trying out a new platform as well while I'm on Haps. I'm trying out Fanbase. Hopefully this is clear. I'm looking for clear audio. The video is going to be what it's going to be. You already know how I get down. I'm not going to give you much to look at, but I'll give you something to listen to. And I wanted to really kind of dig into Mr. Build Back Better Biden, because Mr. Build Back Better Biden is full of bullshit. And I didn't think that he could actually eclipse the level of disrespect that he has held for African Americans and his African American voter base. But he did. He eclipsed it. I mean, he's been so disrespectful since he's been in office to Black Americans, African Americans. Some of y'all are coloreds. And now I believe we've reached the depths. We've reached the depths of his disrespect. It's not the heights. There's nothing high about what he did. Nothing high about what Build Back Better Biden did. And we're going to add some things up just to show you how much he's building with black people. He ain't building better back with black people. I think what they're about to do is try to build this country on top of black people. I mean, it's not enough that we're at the bottom, that we're a bottom caste out here. He's trying to bury us, leaving us unprotected, no resources, nothing. And I'm not a journalist. Y'all know this. I'm not a journalist. So I'm not bringing you the news. I'm not bringing you something that you already don't know. Anybody checks this out and comes in here and catches it live, looks like it's just me and you free in here right now, kicking it. And that's okay. I'm checking out some things, and hopefully I am coming through clearly on fan base. I don't have a fan base on fan base, but I'm trying out the platform. Black owned platform. Looks like he's doing some good things by the black content creators. Now he's got a freedman on deck. And hopefully, Brother Isaac Hayes and his crew, Isaac Hayes Jr., they continue to allow people like myself to speak freely, to speak about us. Because I'm kind of narrowing down about speaking about other things. You know, if it's not directly concerning us, I'm probably going to find less and less interest about it. Most definitely. Peace to my folks at cargo420.com. Appreciate you always putting that up there free as a friendly reminder for those who need it, who want it, brought to their doorstep in Southeast Michigan. Cargo420.com. I'll get it there for you. But Joe Biden sat down and hoarded another executive order from Black Americans. That's why I call him the Executive Hoarder, because his executive orders have been kept away from Black people. He is hoarding them. He is hoarding all of his orders. He is a order hoarder. And I know some of y'all are still celebrating the great feat set by Kamala Imhoff. She became president for about an hour and a half while the doctor played with Joe Biden's feeble little booty hole, giving him a colonoscopy. I'm not sure why this was made such a big deal. She really wasn't president. She didn't become president. He just gave her presidential power while he was sedated. They knew that what shouldn't go happen. Nothing. What if they had stormed the Capitol during that time? What would Kamala Imhoff have done? Would she have called Doug? I mean, do you call your husband at that time? Say, Doug, what do I do? There's all these men that look just like you storming the Capitol. Doug, help me out. Who would she have called? I mean, Joe's sleep. They putting tools in his booty. He getting a colonoscopy. What would she do? Would she call Simone Sanders? You know, Simone Sanders, she can thwart people. She has thwarted many a people. Simone Sanders ain't scared of the fisticuffs. She could have gone and got Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre is not scared of the fisticuffs. They with the shits. You come for Kamala, you come for Joe, they'll tangle with you. They'll tangle with you. They have fought off many of folk on the campaign trail for Joe and Kamala. And I don't think this would be any different. If they had to protect Kamala during a takeover, I think they'd stand up proud. Proud of what? I don't know, but I think they would stand up. So it looks like I'm still going here on fan base. People might come in and might dip out. Anybody comes in on fan base, what's going on? I'm just trying to check into some things. Brother Shannon is my name. Friedman Media is my game. We got a little cast here called Here's the Thing. Not like here's the thing, but like here's the thing. Because when you listen, you'll hear some things. But what Joe Biden did to just disrespect, I mean, this took the disrespect level to such depths, and it made no sense. Because once again, I didn't even know that these people were being negatively affected like they were in the country. It's amazing how all of this anti-hate is against all these different people. But you never hear about these people being brutalized the way you hear about black people being brutalized. But they got stats. They got stats. We've got stats. Peace to my brother Tony Delaramie, who I grifted some stats from. I didn't look him up. I only looked up the actual document. I got it from him and then went back and made sure I had the year right. So he got these stats from the FBI, the feds, about their hate crime incidents. I listened to his cast and I couldn't believe it, so I listened to it again. That's how I am. When I don't believe some shit, sometimes I'll listen to it twice just to make sure it is as fucked up as I think it is. And it was as fucked up as I thought it was. And I got some stats that I was just like, these are remarkable stats, because generally when you do what Joe Biden is doing with these executive orders, it's usually because there's a major reason, there's a problem, there's an issue that you're trying to take care of. And I just did not find the reasoning behind some of these criminal justice bills, these anti-hate crime bills that Joe Biden did. I didn't understand it. I mean, he's got an executive order for everybody. Latinos, Asians, now Native Americans, gays. But he doesn't have an executive order for the people who got him into office, which are black people. Freedmen. Not just black people, freedmen. Native black Americans voted Joe in. Don't get it twisted. I know there was plenty of melanated people who got him in too, but the people who really got Joe over the hump were freedmen. Some may call themselves American descendants of slavery. I would hope they address themselves as freedmen, but there's still a few out there who are calling themselves that. So, okay, you be that. It'd be better than calling yourself an African American, I guess. Or you can just continue to call yourself colored, because you might be a member of the Colored People's Organization, that National Association for the Advancement of People of Color, because it's not colored people anymore. The NAACP does not advocate for colored people. They advocate for people of color. But going back to 2020 stats, they saw major problems with anti-hate crimes. Well, hate crimes. So they had to develop these anti-hate crime bills. to get this started, to protect these people. See, these people are a protected class when they get criminal justice bills specifically for their people. Pretty much the only people that don't have a criminal justice bill, an anti-hate bill specifically for their people, are black people. Even though we've been the most brutalized and we've had the most hate crimes perpetuated against us, we still don't have a bill. But we've got a Joe, and he's going to build back better. Bullshit. Take that B with you. Build back better. Bullshit. So he just signed this bill for the Native Americans. Y'all know this. Y'all probably just as pissed off as I am. Because I'm wondering, like I said, I'm wondering because I hadn't heard about the detrimental fare going on against Native Americans. So I said, you know what? I've listened to TD and I've seen the stat on his cast, on the document that he read it from. And I'm like, no, maybe we want to talk about this a little bit. I mean, everybody doesn't see TD. Everybody doesn't see me either. Hopefully somebody else takes this a step further and digs deeper than I dig in it. But where we are right now, what I'm going to do now, what we're going to do is dig into why Joe Biden did what he did. Because we knew why he did what he did with the other things. He had some scenarios when he did the anti-hate bill for the Latinos. There had been 517 cases, reported cases, hate crimes towards Latinos. I guess that could be a reason. 517, yeah. Over 50 states. Now you gotta see that out. Over 50 states. That's about 10 per state. Okay. Doesn't seem like a lot when you break it all down, because there's some states that Latinos aren't even in. Okay. I'm sure it's heavy in New York. I'm sure it's heavy in California. I'm sure it's heavy in Florida. Texas, maybe. But with only 517, it ain't that heavy at all, is it? But they got a bill. They got a bill because we got a Joe. And then there were the hate crime bills for the trans folk and the LGBTQIAP folk. Now, trans and LGBTQIAP folks, I thought were the same, but they got their own individual bills. There's protection for trans people. There's protection for LGBTQIAP people. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but they got two different stats. Hell, they even got a stat for hate crimes against gay males. Now you have LGBTQIAP, then you have trans, then you have gay males. They have hate crime for all of those people statistically set with the feds. I don't know why they needed all that, why they couldn't be clumped together. Clump them together the way you clump all melanated people together, making everybody think that everybody's black that has brownness in their skin. Why don't you clump them together? Why is there such specificity along those lines? Why? Because the LGBTQIAP has political power, and they make sure you separate their shit accordingly. They don't just let you clump them all together. They say, here, we're lesbian, we're gay, we're trans. Yeah. They get it all separated. Put some melanin in somebody's skin. Oh, they're black. They're people of color. They're minority. So, you had 306 hate crimes reported against the LGBTQIAP. Then you had 213 hate crimes recorded against trans people. So you put them together, you got 519. Just under the hate crimes reported for Latinos. So we're just over 1,000 between the Latinos, the gays, and the trans folks. Just over 1,000. And we all know about the height that the hate crimes rose for Asians. Asians were not being hated on nearly as much until, the shit got started, I guess. And then it said it rose about 73%. I didn't even know they were calculating before, but they figured out a way to calculate 73% increase in hate crimes reported against Asians. And that brought the number up high. Because when you increase something 73%, you got to know the numbers are going to shoot through the roof. So with the stats reported in 2020, there were 279. This is with the 73% increase. This is with the 73% increase. So the numbers shot through the roof and they got all the way up to 279. So anti-hate bills for Latinos, gays, trans, Asians shot through the roof. And the Asians had the highest increase at 73%. And they got all the way up to 279. So you had the gays, you had the trans, they're about 500. Then you had the anti-Latinos, they're at 517. So we're just over 1,000. Then you throw in the anti-Asian hate crime bills. It's almost 300, a little less than 300. So we're about 1,300. We're about 1,300. 1,300 reported hate crimes against gays, trans, Latinos, and Asians. And that's including the 73% increase for Asians. Peace to fan base. Like I said, we're trying this platform out. Coming through the mobile. I am not on a desktop. I'm on the desktop for the HAP space. But I just really want to see how this audio is going to play out, see how the video plays out, and we kind of go from there. We'll keep it moving. What's up, Tony D? Missy B, peace, love, and light to you. These are all facts that I'm speaking only because, not because Tony Deliramy spoke them, but because it's in a federal document. It's in a Federal Bureau of Investigations document. These were the reported hate crimes. Reported. So we're right around 1,300 hate crimes for gays, trans, Latinos, and Asians. Okay? Trans had 213, Asians had 279, the LGBTQIAP had 306, and the Latinos had 517. I'm giving you these numbers to paint a picture. I've been told that I paint pictures with broad strokes. I'm not painting this picture with a broad stroke. I'm going to paint it with a specific stroke, but it's not going to be a broad stroke. But because everybody else's numbers were so high, you would have to imagine that the number for the Native Americans would have to be just ridiculously high. Anti-trans, 213. Anti-Asian, 279. Anti-LGBTQIAP, 306. Anti-Latino, 517. So with Joe Biden signing this new Native American criminal justice anti-hate crime bill, their numbers would have to be comparable. right? They'd have to be right there with these folks, right? When I found out the number of reported hate crimes for Native Americans, I was appalled. I was insulted. I was embarrassed that this type of detrimental behavior could go on. I mean, after all, these are Native Americans. Peace and respect, brother information man. I was appalled. And I said, if they're recognized for this type of number, something's got to be good. I felt like, and I told y'all, I haven't seen Color Purple. I've never seen the movie Color Purple, but I love the meme. When Whoopi Goldberg is standing up there, anything for me? That's the way y'all black Democrats look. Anything for me? Because that's the way we look right now, waiting for Joe Biden to sign an executive order to protect our class of people. He's protected Asians. He's protected Latinos. He's protected gays. He's protected trans. Now he's protected Native Americans because they had such a high number of individuals with hate crimes reported against them. Appreciate anybody checking this out. It's almost 12 o'clock tonight. So anybody in here tonight is actually listening to the message. You just ain't scrolling by this shit. You just ain't looking at my face and stopping through. Got a couple people actually checking me out on Fanbase. I appreciate you on Fanbase. I don't even really know how Fanbase works, but I'm going to try to make it do what it do on Fanbase, just like I made it do what I do on Haps, YouTube, Facebook. The message don't stop. And it don't matter about the numbers because the message is the message is the message. And I'm going to fuck with Isaac Hayes because he's a freedman. He might not even recognize himself as a freedman, but I can talk to him about it. I had the pleasure of meeting his father years back at his nightclub, restaurant on Clark Street in Chicago. Beautiful brother, beautiful brother. So the Native Americans got their bill because Joe Biden saw that this had to happen to make America right and sound and safe. We had to protect the Native Americans. Because after the reports of all the hate crimes against Native Americans, he had to do something about it. Now, I'm sure he signed before he went under and Kamala became president for an hour and a half. I'm sure he did that, See, what I want to know is, did Joe Biden sign that bill while being prescribed Go Lightly? Because Go Lightly makes you shit all day. If you've never had a colonoscopy and never drank Go Lightly, then you don't understand. But if you have drank Go Lightly, you are under some duress. So did Joe Biden sign that executive order under duress because his bowels were being complicated with Go Lightly? Did he sign that? Was he threatened by Go Lightly and his impending colonoscopy? Or did the numbers of the Native Americans being attacked, did the numbers scare him so where he had to get this done? Because the numbers were ridiculous. The numbers were ridiculous of people that are Native Americans that have been attacked. Hate crimes. And they got a bill. They got a bill out of this. So they must have been working on this. I mean, I'm thinking that they worked a little bit longer than the anti-Asian hate crime bill. That took about 30 days. We're still trying to get anti-lynching bills passed, and that's taken us about 150 years? Yeah. So once I found out the number of Native Americans that had been reported on as far as hate crimes went, I said, wow. I said, wow. Because I was amazed. I'm like, what took so long? 96 Native Americans have had reported hate crime cases. 96. 96. The next highest is 213. That's anti-trans. Then you go to anti-Asian, 279. Then you go to anti-LGBTQIAP at 306. Then you go to Latinos, 517. 96 Native Americans got a criminal justice anti-hate crime bill signed by Joe Biden. 96. I have been very emphatic. I have been very methodical about this because I need to be. I need to be because I need to break this down. In my caption, I believe it says how things are adding up. So we're going to add these numbers up. I don't lie to y'all. Whatever I tell you, fan base, you better understand me. I don't lie. The problem is I tell too many truths. That's why I'm not very popular. And that's okay. I'm not here to be popular. I'm here to bring truth to power and kick white supremacy in its ass. That's why I'm here, fan base. No other reason. I have nothing else to do right now. This particular moment right now, that's why I'm doing this. And this is my kick in white supremacy's ass. Right now. So let's go through, since we know now the number of Native Americans that it took for Joe Biden to sign a criminal justice anti-hate crime bill to protect Native Americans in this country, let's add the numbers up of the people that have gotten this type of situation, this type of protection. We know Black people won't be included in the count, but there's something at the end that I will explain why this video had to be made. So what am I going to use for a calculator? I'll use this one for the calculator. Let's see. All right, so we're going to start with the highest, okay? We're going to start with the highest. I know some of y'all be like, you're the highest. I'll be smoking. I am not the highest, just to let you know. I am not the highest. There are people that are higher than me. So let's start with the anti-Latino hate crime bill. Stats reported 517. Let's go to the anti-LGBTQIAP 306. Let's go to the anti-Asian, because they got this shit lickety split. You know, anti-Asian Pacific Islander crime bill 279. Then we got the anti-trans bill. You see how they broke them up. They gave them specificity. They won't give us specificity. They won't allow freedmen to free freedmen. They just say everybody's Black. Like everybody's freedmen. No. Just because you're brown, we know you're not down. And Black people are the only people that say Black and brown. Don't no other faction of melanated people say brown and Black. You always say yourself first. Black and brown. You hear that from Black people. Name another ethnicity that says brown and Black people. They don't say shit. They say brown. So after the anti-Asian with 279, then you had anti-trans because they got specificity. They are separate from the LGBTQIAP. 213 they were. So when you got them added up, then you add the Native Americans number that got them the crime bill of 96. 96 individuals, hate crimes reported, got them a crime bill. That's what you get, okay? Fan base, for the folks that will see it. 1,411 reported hate crimes. This is what the FBI has. And you know if the FBI has it, it's got to be truthful, right? I can't just give them the eye. I got to give y'all the eye too. Yeah, I got to give you the FBI fan base. That's crazy because it's FB fan base. Y'all gonna know I'm about the words, fan base. You'll come to understand that I'm about the words, and I kind of manipulate them motherfuckers a little bit every now and then. So you stay around. You gonna hear some things. That's why I call this "Here's the Thing." So 1,411 reported hate crimes with Latinos, LGBTQIAP, Asians, trans, and Native Americans. 1,411. 1,411. It's a ridiculous number of hate crimes. A ridiculous fucking number. How much hate is in this country? America's not a racist country. You don't think so? That's a lot of hate crimes. 1,411. But then you got to the amount of hate crimes that were reported against Black Americans. Not melanated folks, not all others. Black Americans, freedmen's, natives, the people who built this motherfucker, the bottom caste folk, us, the descendants of enslaved individuals. That number's staggering. I thought 1,411 was bad. I thought 1,411 was bad. I was like, damn, you add all those people up, then where must we be? 1,411, where must we be? We must fall right in line with that. We would add to that stat. That's what I'm thinking, fan base. We would add to that stat. Trinity, Olivia, I appreciate you tuning in to me on fan base. Brother Shannon, appreciate you. Freeman Media, appreciate you. Here's the Thing, appreciate you. I really don't do casts on fan base, so I'm learning this platform too. You're learning this platform too. Let's make it happen over here. It's run by Black folks too. We got to do this, man. We need our own media. We need to be able to control our own narratives. And I need a space to go where goddamn purple hearts and pink hearts and shit aren't floating around my head. I don't like that. So let's get back to the stats, though. Because if Native Americans had 96 and anti-trans had 213, Asians 279, LGBTQIAP had 306. 306. It's horrible. Latinos, 517, leading the pack. Kind of. Then we get to us. The most compartmentalized, marginalized, minimized, scrutinized, demonized, criminalized people on this soil. So our number is right in there, right? And our number's got to be right there. It's got to be kind of fly right in there. Because the total of all of those groups, those 5 groups, it was 1,411. So when I think about it, I'm like, wow, okay. 1,411. Well, let's just see where Native Black Americans, not Native Americans, because they're 96. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people being hated on. Got to give you that too. But then we had to get to Native Black Americans. Some of y'all might call them African Americans. Some of y'all might call them Negroes. Some of y'all might call them coloreds. I call probably a lot of y'all coloreds. I'm a freedman myself, and I'm proud of it. The number of freedmen affected by hate crimes that were reported to the FBI, 2,871. 2,871. Now, the total number for the other five groups was 1411. 1411, 1,411. And the number for black folks, not melanated people, not brown people, black folks, 2,871. Double the amount of all five groups combined. And we ain't got no bill. We're just a bill. And we're sitting on Capitol Hill. Hopefully we're still sitting on Capitol Hill. Hopefully those miscreants that took over the Capitol building didn't steal us like they stole everything else out of the Capitol building. I mean, we're just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. That's never going to get signed, just like the anti-lynching bill. 2,871. Yes, Trinity Olivia. I believe that after looking at those stats, I would think that we should be in the running for a criminal justice anti-hate crime bill. Just thinking that it took five groups to eclipse almost half of the crimes reported against us, five groups, that maybe we should be considered for this. And the executive order criminal justice anti-hate crime bill goes to not you niggas. You all either. Y'all not getting it. We've had twice the reported hate crimes against us, and we've got no bill. The Native Americans had 96 reported against them, 96. They got a bill. And we already know they've got protection. They've been a protected class of people, a subsidized class of people, a resource class of people. Now they've got a criminal justice anti-hate crime bill. Yeah. Now you can really get fucked up if you fuck with them. You could have gotten fucked up before, but now you can really get fucked up because you can get federally fucked up. They're protected. Joe signed the bill with loose guts. If he got a colonoscopy today, he had to be on Go Lightly yesterday. Hey, his guts was loose. I'd say he signed that bill under duress myself. I don't know anybody that's ever drank Go Lightly and they weren't under duress. Yeah. That bill might not be valid. He signed that under duress. I mean, I'm not saying that 96 individuals didn't deserve a crime bill for the hate crimes committed against them. But Joe wasn't right when he signed that. He was light, but he wasn't right. It is what it is. What are we going to do about this? Are we just going to sit back and continue to let other people get resources and us get nothing and just continue to vote Democrat? I mean, the Democrats have shown their whole ass to black people since Joe Biden's been elected. What have they done to black people? What have the Democrats done for you? And now Joe Biden said, let me show you how I can do one more thing not for you. It's a weird type of feeling you get, Trinity Olivia, when you see stuff like this. To know that we could be harmed at twice the level of 5 groups. Gays, trans, Latinos, Asians, and Native Americans combined, we could be abused twice as much and have no protection, and they all have protection. It's a sickness. It's a sickness. So, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go from here. I mean, what do we do from here? This is worse than being ignored by a government. We're not being ignored. They acknowledge us. They acknowledge us every 4 years at election time. Every 2 years at election time. They know we're here. They're just committed to not doing shit for us. And they're willing to show you that. All out. All out. So. But like I said, I didn't get on here tonight to be here long. I really wanted to see how things were over on Fanbase. And I want to thank Trinity Olivia for checking in on Fanbase. We've never met in this space, but now we have, and now we're family. Free, I appreciate letting me know that the audio and the video quality is up to par. Folks on Haps, get it together with these hearts, man. This shit ain't sweet. This shit ain't sweet. I mean, nobody has probably talked about it as much as I've talked about it, but I don't need that shit. Put some floating F's behind me for Friedman. If you wanted to make it a graphic, put a floating joint behind me. I don't give a fuck. I don't want a floating heart. I'll tell you that. We should be able to have somewhere where we can put up our own image and that have it float. And it could be a part of our topic. Why don't y'all think of that? Why the heart? I don't need the little Montero X hearts floating behind me. It does nothing to enhance my cast. It just enhances my frustration with this bullshit. But Fanbase, I'll be back. And maybe I can double my viewers next time. Just like we doubled the amount of hate crimes reported to the feds. This is just what's reported. That's why I have to be very cognizant when I make these statements. The data's in the feds document that it was reported. You know there were many more hate crimes that weren't reported, right? And that can work for all circles. I'm not saying that other people didn't have more. But since we've got twice the amount of 5 groups, they probably might not want to talk about their numbers. Because they got to grow up to show up in this game. We're at 2871 as a collective. They're at 1411 as 5 collectives. It's a numbers game. And we've been counted out. We've been counted out like New Edition. This is crazy. Y'all be good tonight. Or it's already morning on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, you got a couple more hours to be good tonight before morning. And we'll kick it again. Unless I go tonight. If I go tonight, then we ain't gonna kick it no more. And it was good while I was in this bitch. Share the facts. Share the videos. Like the videos. I'm on YouTube. Friedman Media 1874. I'm on Facebook. Y'all know Brother Shannon. I'm on Instagram. Friedman Media. You can catch my altered ego, Kiefer Brotherland. This is my motherland. No other land. But we're going to keep bringing the facts, especially when it pertains to us. It's time to speak on specificity much more and speak on everything else much less. We is what counts. And speaking of counting, this is the worst math class I ever taught. But you all get A's, and it's time for recess. And just so y'all know, I'm still on my shit. I don't want no kids in my goddamn cast. Haps, if y'all gonna do this shit, if this is the way y'all gonna be, if this is the way y'all gonna be, this is the way I'm gonna be. My damn thing. And I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna be. And I told you, I don't want no kids in my cast. Y'all gonna let 12-year-olds on this motherfucking platform. They don't need to be up here. 12-year-olds need to be somewhere with some headphones on, playing a game if that's what they're gonna do. Read a book. You don't need to be on here listening to this. So if I catch a kid in my cast, hey kid, get the fuck out of here. That's where I'm at with it. Hey kid, get the fuck out of here. Every time. Every time. I don't want no kids in my cast. When I have a kid-friendly cast, I'll let you know. But these ain't kid-friendly. These ain't even friendly for adults. But they're factual. And I'm speaking on the right shit, and I'm speaking from the right perspective. Because I'm not an African American. I'm a freedman. One love. Get the fuck out of here. Hey kid, get the fuck out of here. That's where we at with it.